Made right here in the USA, this Discovery series by QuadraFire is a powerful series with a multi-year legacy. Invented and welded together right here in the USA by Hearth & Home Technologies, this is one of my favorite stoves. One of the neatest features is it has replaceable side panels. You can decorate your stove any color you want with 12 by 12 ceramic tile from Home Depot. It's got a wood storage rack here, very handy. When you come in the winter, we all know what it's like. You're banging off snow, mud, etc., and then you're looking for a place to put your wood. They've thought it through. There's 3 models in this series called Discovery. The Discovery 1 gets a tax credit. This behind me is a Discovery 2 series. Then there's the Discovery 3, which is sort of the monster. It's about 350 pounds, 61,000 BTUs, as opposed to this middle one, which is about 51,000 BTUs, about 300 pounds. And then the smallest one that gets a tax credit, Discovery 1, that guy's about 44,000 BTUs, about 260 pounds. Great stove, not heavy to lift, easy to install. Highly recommend. Let's do a quick review of the appliance and how to start a fire. This beautiful wood stove series, again coming in 3 sizes, ranging from 260 pounds to 360 pounds, has changeable sides. It has the wood storage rack underneath. The Discovery 1, as shown here on the right, puts out about 44,000 BTUs, moving up to 51 and then 61,000 BTUs. Let's take a look at how to start a fire in this. Very easy to start a fire. I recommend always, believe it or not, I'm a wood stove guy through and through, but I do believe in using fire starter and some basic matches. You'll need your kindling, which is wood that's been splintered at the edge of your wood pile. In this case, I went ahead and brought in 4 large pieces of wood, 1 piece of kindling. Just for fun, I'll grab another one, put it up here, and then we'll take a little bit of, what I do is I leave a little gap underneath, and I'll put this cube fire starter right there. It'll burn up through and you'll see how it works. So as the little kindling begins to ignite, you'll see the smoke wafting up. Where does it go? Nowadays, all these modern wood stoves have what we call a false ceiling. So this is an ascending view to give you your bearings here. The door is open. The smoke must exit in the first 2 inches of the ceiling right here. And this creates an S-shaped pattern of the smoke, increasing the 3 T's that we want to get ideal combustion efficiency. We want more time, we want more turbulence, and we need higher temperature. And when we achieve the 3 T's in the firebox, the manufacturers give us the most efficient burn possible. So again, this is about 45 seconds in, starting to take. I got some good dry kindling here. Now, air controls. For air controls, we've got the primary combustion control up here. And you'll see they've laser cut in a nice little way so that you can remember a larger laser cut hole means more air, down here means less air. So during startup, it's very thirsty for air. So we want to make sure we shove that up all the way to give it maximum air. There's one more to check out. Down here on the side, this is what we call startup air control, the ACC type of thing, automatic combustion control. So the way the label works is you pull it forward for rear air, make sure I'm telling you the right thing, and then to do startup air so that you can shut your door, because the company doesn't want to be legally held liable in their instruction book for telling you, yes, leave your door cracked for the first 5 to 10 minutes, which is what you do on all other brands except QuadraFire. So check this out. You push it back, then you pull it forward. And what that did is it initiated a timer. Let's see if we can hear it. It'll go tick, tick, tick for 20 minutes, and it lets fresh air come in through specialized holes to initiate and keep that burn going, so the manufacturer can tell you, go ahead and latch your door. It's a little unsafe to leave your door unlatched. Go get a cup of coffee. The next thing you know, you're talking to a neighbor, the phone rings, and your wood stove's burning in there for an hour and the door's cracked. It happened to me once, like to terrify me. So, and on a non-QuadraFire product. So this is a nice feature. You activate your initial startup air by pushing it back, pulling it forward. And now, for the sake of thoroughness, let's actually close the door. You saw a little burst of the flame there as it's finding its new air source. We're going to come around the side and listen carefully for the tick-ticking sound. I'm not sure if you could hear it, but it's going tick, 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 tick. And it'll do that for about 20 minutes until it has sufficient air. And the manufacturers say, yeah, after 20 minutes, that's about what you need to do for startup air. And that works great, practically for us in the field as well. And because I'm an installer, I must tell you that we always recommend double wall venting on all modern appliances. I'm in a fireplace showroom right now, so there's lots of models behind me. But this one right here, double wall system. We've got a slip joint 245 ceiling support box, and then up through the roof, we've got the attic insulation shield, and finally a roof brace, roof flashing storm collar, and a cap with a spark screen. Always recommended on these products. Again, we're just getting going. I'll check back in a few minutes once it gets going really strong. So we're about 7 minutes in. Again, we're using the startup air control on the side. We're using the primary startup here, but I want to show you what the flame is doing. Part of the brilliance of the design of the modern stove, and we're going to open the door in just a minute to get the glare off, is how the flame is suppressed with a false ceiling, which creates air introduction with air reburn tubes at the apex of the flame, getting that peak temperature of 1200 to burn off all the hydrocarbons. So you'll notice that the flame is going up, it's hitting a ceiling. That's not a problem, that's actually a good thing. And the flame is bending and flickering around this front lip, and it's racing to the back to collect into the 6-inch flue collar and be pulled, that's right, pulled out of the system. These stoves operate on a negative pressure. So as the hot air rises up the flue, it creates a vacuum behind it. And we call, in our industry, that has a special word, and we call it draft or pull. And it's measured by inches on the water column. So when you open the door of a wood stove, you should never get smoke in the room rolling across the door, because those flames are licking right past the door here, getting pulled up the flue. So the pull is greater than the push. There really is no push on a wood burning delicate air balance system like this. Right here is the air wash. Interestingly, we have two moving sheets of air, one dropping right here and curving and going under the fuel load. It gets burned, comes up, and then it exhausts about an inch away from its primary source coming in here. It gets licked over that baffle plate right there. Fascinating design as you think about it. Two different moving sheets of air. Who would have thought that works? Over here on the left, can you see there's a little bit of moisture sweating on the inside of the stove. Now this is about the 5th wood burning fire this stove has experienced. It's already, look, during the, what are we, about 2 minutes in on this little segment, and look at how much more full the flame is. But the sweating is coming from the moisture that's in the wood, because it did snow on this wood about 5 days ago, so it's been drying out in our Colorado sun and low humidity. But there's enough humidity, you can see it sweating in the corner. All right, let's go ahead and close the door now. What happens when the flames are fanned like that is they kind of spread out. But let's watch what happens when we actually lock it. There we go. It kind of changes, slows down, and becomes more amber with the color. All right, we are 30 minutes in, and this little beauty, the Discovery 1, is so hot I can barely sit next to it. But again, the brick, the steel, the whole thing's got to heat up before it reaches sort of optimal efficiency. And we're trying to get 1200 degrees interior temperature. Don't worry about measuring the sides here, because that little 1-inch thickness there is a heat shield, which allows a reduction of clearance to combustible. So you're not going to get an 800 degree Fahrenheit temperature on here. You're going to get a max of about 350 to 400. Top surface temperature, if you want to measure that, you should be getting up at the 800 mark there when this thing's really cooking. Now, let me tell you the piece de resistance. The most unbelievable thing is this thing retails at the following MSRP, $2,279, not even $2,500. Unbelievable. This has got to be the least expensive wood stove, the Discovery 1 series, or the Discovery series, the Discovery 1 that gets a tax credit. So this is as close to legal money laundering as you can get, where the IRS and the EPA have joined together to give you a $2,000 tax credit on a stove that costs just over $2,000. So again, the tax credit is 30% and the cap is $2,000, but by the time you add labor and venting, you're going to be over the $2,000. About $6,600 is where you optimize that $2,000 tax credit. But this is pretty unbelievable. It's like getting a free wood stove when you replace your venting and have it all installed. All right, check it out. This is an amazing stove. Love it. You could probably use one in your home. Get off of propane, get off of natural gas, set your home thermostat down to 60 degrees, and keep your house warm with a zone heater. Love it. Cheers.